First thing I'm going to go over with you today is the basic grip position or the collar and elbow tie-up. It's something that you see a lot in grappling matches, or even when you're doing a scuffle on the street, you'll see people just kind of latch on and grab each other. There are a few idiosyncrasies to the way that I was taught it by Harry and the way that I continue to teach it to my students, which make it a little more fundamentally sound and harder to actually break away from, whilst giving you all those options that you can finish your opponent with. So let's get back into it and see what we can do. So for the first thing, I'm going to require the assistance of my partner, Sarah Jade, aka the Morrigan. So I'm just going to bring you on in here. Now you may notice there's a little bit of a size disparity going on here, but there's a reason for this, because once I've shown you me working it on someone smaller than me, we're going to reverse that and she's going to show exactly the same concepts and principles to show that this isn't something that's limited to just being a big, massive, hunky and devilishly handsome dude like myself. So what we're going to do is address the core principles. When you see a collar and elbow tie, certainly in the days that you see it in the MMA matches or wrestling matches these days, people just sort of go in and they're loose and they're working and they're driving in and they're kind of just struggling for it. And it's fine and all, especially when people are getting tired, because you start to decrease your skill set there. But if we can put these ingredients in place right from the beginning, the gap that we have in the degradation between the skill and the application is lessened, and that means you've got a slightly more applicable process. So the first thing I'm going to do is this. I'm not grabbing high on the head, I'm just cupping the back of the neck nice and loosely. One of the reasons I don't like doing the head is, although I can pull that down, if she stiffens, that locks me. So if I just grab and pull and she stiffens that head and neck up from here, it locks in and now we're engaged. If I go down here and she moves her head up, I really don't care, because it doesn't affect my position or my posture at all. Second thing I'm going to do from here, this isn't a grip, this is a cup. So I'm cupping the back of the head. A lot of people will just drop the elbow in or just have this arm floating here. The obvious structural flaw here is if she just pushes that arm off, there's very little that I can do to hold it on. She pushes it the other way, same thing again, it'll fold in on itself. So what I want to do is get this elbow closer to her body. This also stops her rushing in, so she comes towards me now, so my arm will fold in under itself, and I'm gone. If I put this elbow down and now she comes towards me, see already that's harder for her to get in, but she's still folding me. So this is the missing ingredient. I cup, I drop, and then ever so slightly, I move it across. So rather than straight like so, it's angled like this. So as I go straight here, I make that swan neck and my arm naturally turns and goes in. The reason this works so well is when I swan neck, when she comes towards me, come on. Yeah, there you go. So she's putting all that effort in and I'm putting very little in. The cool thing with this is it works the other way around, so put it on me. So she puts that in and I'm going to drive into her now. And she can control relatively well with just single point. It's not guaranteed, you're not going to stay there forever like Captain Morgan and just pose. But it is going to give you that ability to control their energy coming into you. So I lock up, I lock in, she does the same. Good. This now gives me my second piece, which is this here. Again, I want to almost do that swan neck aspect. Cup here, not grab, not grasp, not tight, cup it. The reason for this is if she grabs my arm, so just pull this one down for a second, she grabs really, really tight, so she's got a good grip on that arm, push down, so she's really locked in. Watch what happens to her posture now. It breaks because there's tension in there. If she cups it, and I suddenly drop to let go, watch what happens to her tracking. Yeah. And as I go to move around, she's still in with me and is able to work that off. So, cup lightly, drop it, swan neck. Cup lightly, drop it, swan neck. Cup, 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 cup. Leg in, leg out. Sometimes you'll see me stand quite upright, that's an idiosyncrasy of how I wrestle, but as a general rule, nice solid base down there, and if we push into each other, it becomes basically neutral. Go. And the position kind of cancels each other out. So when we're moving around, we're in that position here, you find as we're wrestling, all of a sudden, do a jump, and we're in. And you find yourself in that collar and elbow type position. Review the basics from here. Cup, swan in, cup, swan down. Elbows are down, elbows are in, sink the posture, and we're good to go.